Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem. Jane sitting here wearing layers. It's wet, it's windy, it's raining in Jerusalem and in most parts of Israel. I want to make this quick update to all of you before we are signing off for Shabbat, because all eyes were on The Hague in the Netherlands right now. The International Court of Justice was giving their verdict in the court case put forward from South Africa against Israel's military operation inside Gaza, and they were calling for Israel to be sentenced for committing genocide inside Gaza, and they were calling for the court to order Israel to stop fighting in the Gaza Strip. So I want to give you the result of that, and I'm going to be using notes a little bit, so just bear with me. But the court said that there is a basis to check South Africa's claim for Israel committing genocide, and that it will take time to hear that issue. But in the meantime, until the end, Israel should do everything in its power to prevent actions that fall within the scope of definition of genocide. I'm not making this up. Israel should introduce immediate humanitarian aid to Gaza. Israel should act against incitement to genocide and submit within a month a report on its actions in the matter. But they did not call for a ceasefire, and they did not call for Israel to stop the war in the Gaza Strip. Of course, South Africa have claimed in this court case that Israel did not have the right to defend itself. Imagine, as the only country who is being attacked, South Africa claimed that Israel did not have the right to defend itself. Of course, the court in Hague came against that. Many of the points that they came to the conclusion of was based on United Nations agencies. Not a single UN source that they used recognized Hamas as a terror organization, came against Hamas and the atrocities that they committed. What a farce. They also said in this ruling that they used the number from the health ministry in Gaza, that more than 25,000 people had been killed. Excuse me, who is the health ministry in Gaza? Hamas. What did the Israeli military say? We have killed, was it 9,000 was the last number? 9,000 terrorists in Gaza? But that was not mentioned in the 25,000 casualties of Palestinians in Gaza. It's absolutely ridiculous. What did they say? Well, they ordered Israel to stop indictments against the Palestinians and indictments for genocide towards the Palestinian. I'm a little bit confused. Who is it who proudly proclaims and screams to the top of their lungs, from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free? Who is calling for genocide? Who is calling for genocide? The Palestinians are calling for genocide towards the Jewish people, because from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free. What is that piece of land? It's all of Israel. They're calling for the eradication and the murder of the Jewish people, and so it's Hamas. It's stipulated in the charter of Hamas. Ridiculous. So they are saying Israel should stop taking all means not to commit a genocide. Let me see. What did Israel do? Israel sent millions of text messages to people living inside Gaza, millions of phone calls saying, you know what, now we will be focusing on getting Hamas terrorists, clearing out Hamas terror structure in this area. So we are giving you time to evacuate. We are giving you space to evacuate. Who was sending planes in with leaflets, with pictures saying this is where we are going to be now, evacuate to that area. Israel has done the uttermost to avoid civilian casualty in Gaza. They have done that from day one, and they have done that up until this very moment. What did they find in Gaza? Whole of Gaza is one huge terrorist nest. All of Gaza is above Gaza. You see a city, and then there is a city below Gaza. There is thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers of tunnels inside the Gaza Strip. We are talking about very well-equipped tunnels with bathrooms, electricities. That's where they have kept, and is up until this day, is keeping a lot of the hostages that is still inside the Gaza Strip. So Hamas has turned the whole Gaza Strip into one huge tunnel network. You will not find a hospital, you will not find a kindergarten, you will not find a school or a mosque without having tunnel shafts going down to tunnels. Every school and hospitals, mosque inside the Gaza Strip, you are finding weapons. In private homes, you are finding weapons. Under the bed of children, you are finding weapons, you are finding grenades. Why? Because Hamas is everywhere in the Gaza Strip, and they also have the support of the population inside the Gaza Strip. They have the support of UNRWA, they have the support of all these humanitarian organizations working inside Gaza, because who is the workers inside Gaza? Well, they are locals. They are local Palestinians who support Hamas. All the teachers, most of the teachers in UNRWA, they were out on social media celebrating the attack on Israel on October 7. They have a closed WhatsApp group, and they are celebrating the attack on the murder of the Jewish people. These are the people who is calling for the genocide towards who? Towards the Jewish people. But who's being told to do everything they can to avoid a genocide? Israel and the Israeli military. It is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. So they're also calling for more humanitarian aid into Gaza. Let's see. More than 10,000 trucks, 10,000 trucks has brought food and supplies into the Gaza Strip. More than 10,000. What happens when many of these trucks are coming into Gaza? They're being hijacked by Hamas. They're stealing these trucks so they have provision for themselves. 10,000 trucks are going in with provision to Gaza. How much medicine did the Israeli hostages get? None. There was some deals made that medicine should go into the hostages, and for one package of medicine going into the hostages, there should be 1,000 packets of medicine to the innocent civilians in Gaza. So far, there were no reports that the people who has been held hostage inside Gaza for more than 100 days got the medicine. Some of them are severely injured, got injured on October 7. Some of the women are repeatedly raped with horrible conditions and wounds that's not being treated. But Israel is being pressured. We need to have more humanitarian aid into the Gazans. But what about the hostages? It's absolutely ridiculous. One thing they did do, actually, the International Court of Justice in The Hague, they called for an immediate release of all the hostages. Well, that's nice. So who's going to implement that? Because Hamas is not. They don't. You know, they still have baby Kafir, who just turned 1 year old. He's still in Gaza with his 4-year-old brother, his mom and his dad. And they are kept all the way close to Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, because he knows one day the Israeli military is going to have a boot on his neck, and he's going to use the civilians, Israeli civilians, as his bargaining chip. So unbelievable. So all the judges in the court, they all voted in favor for all of these things. on every single point. Of course, the Israeli judge opposed many of them, and one judge opposed all of them. Guess where this judge was from? The United States of America. So what else is special about today? Well, tomorrow is International Holocaust Day. That's the day where the United Nations of all picked January 27 as the International Day of Holocaust Remembrance Day, where we remember and we say never again. And we are coming against genocide. We are coming against anti-Semitism, remembering the 6 million Jews who was murdered in the Holocaust, people who was taken to the gas chambers, brutally tortured. Their skin was peeled off their body, and it was used on lampshades standing in the houses of the SS Nazi officers. The brutality is unfathomable. So the world one day can be hypocritical and, oh, International Holocaust Memorial Day, we remember never again. Well, it just happened, never again. It just happened, and yet the world is condemning Israel and calling for Israel, saying Israel is committing a genocide towards the people who don't want peace, towards the people in Gaza, who, every time there was a terror attack in Israel, they were out handing out candy in the streets, celebrating the murder of another Jew. The innocent civilians in Gaza who every summer have 50,000 children in military uniform, in military boot camps, learning how to murder Israeli soldiers, how to murder Israeli civilians, how to take over Gaza, because from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free. We shall liberate Palestine. By the way, Hamas said this attack was just the first. We are going to do this again and again and again because they are calling for a genocide of the Jewish people. So, I want to show you something. Right now, opposite the UN building, in Times Square, in newspapers and digital platform, the Holocaust and the October 7 massacre survivor Ruth Hanan appears in national public diplomatic campaign to mark International Holocaust Day. I'll show you her photo in a minute. She's a Holocaust survivor, and she survived the massacre of Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7. And she's speaking out about the horrifying similarity between the atrocity perpetrated by the Nazis and what we saw on October 7. This is what she said. When babies are murdered in their cots, when women are raped, thrown to the ground and murdered viciously, satanically, innocents, that is a Holocaust. This is her, Ruth. She survived the Holocaust, and she survived the attack on Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7. On this day, when sun sets tonight, it's going to be International Holocaust Memorial Day. Prophecies were fulfilled, and the Jewish people came home to their God-given homeland, the land of the Bible, where Jews have been connected for thousands of years. So many Israel's haters are saying, well, you know, they just came here, they stole Palestinian land in 48. Excuse me, the Jews have thousands of years of connection to this land. Open the Bible and read of the kings and the prophets. This land was given to the Jewish people. So many people don't understand and don't realize that when you're touching this land, you're touching the apple of God's eye. God and Israel are like this. They are inseparable, because when it comes to Israel, it comes to God. This is his land and this is his people. He put his name on this piece of property in Israel. And that's why the world are tearing themselves to blood, coming against Israel and the Jewish people, because they are the chosen one. It will never change. So they are home, but still being attacked today for no other reason than just being Jewish. So now Israel has 1 month And then they have to write a written response to The Hague saying and showing what they're doing to prevent a genocide in Gaza. They already did that. They already did that, and now they have to do it again. It is absolutely ridiculous. For such a time as this, we stand with Israel, all us also on this Holocaust, International Holocaust Memorial Day. For such a time as this, I will always stand with Israel. From my small apartment here in Jerusalem, God has called us to do what? Comfort my people. A nation that was viciously, brutally attacked by a terrorist organization who wanted to commit a genocide towards the Jewish people, and who has millions of people walking in the streets around the world supporting them. Supporting from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means the eradication of the Jewish people. So for such a time as this, you and me can do a difference. We can be a difference. We can make a difference. Being watchmen on the walls, standing for Israel, saying you are not alone. We know the Bible is true. We know history is true. We know God put his name down and he gave this land in an eternal covenant to you, the Jews, never to be changed, never to be rewritten, never to be taken back, saying, oops, God changed his mind, whoops. So the covenant is not valid anymore. Now, let's separate God's land and give it to the Palestinians who don't want peace. They want to murder the Jews. So the Bible doesn't matter. We are just going to separate God's holy land. Not on my watch. Thank you for watching. Please share out this video for the truth to come out, because I am so heavily censored on all my social media. We stand with Israel at this time. Shabbat Shalom. Bye.